Well, some federal student loan borrowers are breathing a sigh of relief following President Biden's cancellation of up to $10,000 of loan debt. The president, though, facing criticism that the move could push inflation even higher. His response: the plan is responsible and fair.
I find it interesting how some of my Republican friends who voted for those tax cuts and others think that we shouldn't be helping these folks. Some think it's too little, but I believe my plan is responsible and fair. It focuses the benefit on middle class and working families.
Well, still some income repayment plans carry heavy interest payments. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Ronda, who's been on top of all this. And Ronda, we've talked so much about the cancellation part of it, yes, but there are other elements that the president announced yesterday, including the income exclusion allowance, which you say signifies a pretty big shift.
So for people who, even with the $10,000, or if they're eligible for the Pell Grant, they're getting at $20,000, some people are still going to have debt. So it's what's going to happen. The income-driven repayment plans is typically what's used to try to help borrowers. One of the drawbacks for those plans is, the interest that accrues on it. So one of the examples is if you're making your student loan debt is $30,000, you only make $25,000, and you go into just regular repayment, it's $300 a month. If you go into one of the income-driven repayment plans, they'll say, oh, you only have to pay $60 or $0 per month, but the interest that can be accrued, depending on which plan you get in, can be either $10,000 extra in interest or $20,000 more interest. So this is why a lot of people don't like the income-driven plans, because the interest is what's killing people. His changes to those plans, it kind of helps. The first thing he has is what's called the income exclusion allowance. So basically, before they determine what you're eligible for, there's a set aside saying, okay, this is what you need for basic living allowances. So that money isn't calculated in the calculation of this is how much you can pay. So with that set aside, they're moving it from 150 of the federal poverty to 225. That's part one. Part two is discretionary income. So your discretionary income comes in after they've taken away your exclusion. It's your AGI minus your income exclusion. And so that's how then the calculation goes into, basically the current one is 10% of your discretionary income can be used towards your payment.
Yeah.
The change that he's making is for undergraduate loans, instead of 10%, it's 5%. If you have a combo of undergrad and graduate loans, then it's weighted. So it kind of alleviates the burden regarding affordability. Then we stop to step three, negative amortization. And this is for those people who they told me my income-driven repayment is 0%.
Yeah.
I mean, my payment is zero, but the interest is so high. Currently, depending on which program you're in, the government pays a partial subsidy.
Yeah.
The new program eliminates it all.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that's kind of where we're sitting.
Well, and then there's the automatic forgiveness within 10 years. But obviously, there's a lot to get through, too. You've written all about it. You can go on our site and check out Ronda's stories there. Ronda, appreciate that.